Okay, hello, anyone can hear me? Yeah, so the stream is fine. Now, this is a very different approach. I'll have this stream's archive set on YouTube, and I'll be recording simultaneously on Audacity on the episode for the podcast. So, this is just a test. I'm just seeing how it goes. Uh, mm, so, everything monitoring and everything is going right. So, I'll currently stop monitoring the stream and just go to it. Currently it is 50 fps, but I technically don't need that high. I would be changing all those settings later on. So currently, yeah, let's talk. So, COVID-19, I talked a lot about this in my last episode, and I safe to say that people have not yet followed on that, because still I have seen a lot of misinformation going on even in my audience. Like, they have understood that it is serious, but they have not yet understood that how serious it is. Now, let's talk about why the people, how do I know that the people did not listen to my last episode? Is that I had specifically said that the virus does not get killed by hot and humid weather, but people are still sharing about that same old news that the virus would die when the warm climate comes over. So that is actually not very of a, like, not good to how you just approach that thing. And I would recommend, unless something is like directly confirmed by the set panel of expert doctors, please do not comment on anything and everything that you see. Don't give an expert opinion. I have told it time and time again, like, this is a very bad thing to do. Like, you are not just creating a hoax and people are probably getting inspired by that thing. Now, let's divulge into some other topics that recently came to light. That is, people are talking a lot about the recoveries in China and how there are some conspiracy theories associated with it. But the fact is that it's not effectively the way that you think. Now, there are certain websites which are actually plotting all the data for the coronavirus incidents, and one of them is John Hopkins University, because they have like extensively put time in making all these things happen. So currently I am just visiting this site which has all the information that you can probably need, but I think there are certain authentication systems. But there you can see some trend graphs which clearly depict that in mainland China the cases of coronaviruses have, like, showing up and people being infected have started declining rapidly at like the beginning of February, and by the mid Feb areas the daily cases have been reduced by a significant amount. And currently, like today, I think it was in the news that people have, like, Chinese people have said that there are no new cases for coronavirus currently. So yeah, that's a very good news, because at least it has stopped somewhere. But on the other hand, the places like Italy, US, even like I am from India, and all those other places, the cases are climbing very rapidly. Like, as a reason, a lot of things are happening. The stock markets are crashing. Then there is the issue of things not being available. Then prices will probably rise in the few coming days. So it is a virus. It is supposed to happen like that. People, you cannot just say that China created it. Now China is recovering. Look at the stock markets. The stock market has not crashed. See, China is, like, even if they are secluded among themselves, they are still a part of the entire nation, like entire world economy. If anything goes down in China, like for the coronavirus incidents initially, like in the January times, the prices for certain electronic items as well as certain other things like DRAMs and flash chips, then assembled mobile phones and everything, they just shot up a bit because due to the shortage and all. So economy is not something that just governs by something like a small incident like China's this coronavirus outbreak has affected the entire world. And like now China is stabilizing because people are trying to invest in those places so that those things can grow up. Like, think about it, if you are an investor with money and you want to put it somewhere to like kickstart something, where would you put it? You would obviously try to put it where the thing starts off. Like, China is home to a lot of manufacturing areas as well as the finalized goods areas, so you can say the business basically starts out from there. So I won't see why the people would not try to put something like their money into the thing which basically kicks things off. So please do not create such a hoax that uh, all these things are basically like China is what do you say, conspiracy, and they just wanted the world to crash. The thing is that even if they tried, but like even if they wanted to do that, still a lot of people in China also suffered, and globally a lot of people are suffering as well. You just cannot make certain things sitting in your living room like, yeah, this happened, so this happened. That does not work like that. Please don't spread such kind of misinformations. And these are all infectious diseases, like they will spread as long as you don't contain it, as there is no certain cure or no certain knowing of how the thing actually spreads or how it actually affects. Like, we know how it does, but like how it actually spreads in the like how to stop the spreading and all these things are not directly known, like how long can the virus live for stuff and all. So currently what I would recommend is that please don't go for this conspiracy theories just now because you are bored and at home. Just stay safe, and if you're not ill, please do not wear the mask. Give it to those who are actually sick. Poor people literally cannot afford it right now in my place. Like, there are certain cases where the poor people, they had to take a bus to go to the hospital because they could not afford a proper vehicle, like a taxi or something. So there are certain conditions in certain places where you should be like helping them out. Like, literally the police had to go there, and like I'll come to the story a bit later. Now, the virus is actually very new and advanced, and people literally do not know about it. Like, the entire world is working on it. Like, nobody is like sitting in the living room and commenting on the TV channel saying the news and stuff. So yeah, like the main risk is of the elderly people among us, because currently the mortality rate above the age of 60 is very high, which is a very alarming issue. So we should think about them and be responsible. Now, talking about being responsible, I am from Calcutta, and there has been an incident regarding this which is very shameful for everyone as a human being. Let me talk about it. Now, there was a boy, like, he was studying in England. He's currently 18 years old, according to the parents, and he was like infected. Like, he was probably having some party where there were infected people in the lot. So I don't know why you would have a party in such a scenario. Like, so he just came back on Sunday. That is, I guess, what, 3 4 days from him. That is, I guess, 17th or 18th. I forgot. So yeah, so he just came back to the country on Sunday morning, I guess, in the early times. So he was probably coughing at that point, and he just somehow bypassed the security checks because his parents were VIPs. Now, I don't know the entire details of it, and I don't like talking about conspiracy stuff, and I don't take sides. So let's just say that somehow he just got out and just went home. Now, for the coming 2 days, like, he was feeling sick, so they took him to a hospital which recommended it to go to the proper like isolation places where they are set up. Like, in this every state there are certain isolation places set up where you should take your infected people. So they suggested that go and get checked because we don't have the equipment here. But still they ignored it for 2 days, and the guy literally roamed about in shopping malls, like in cabs, and just even went to his mother's place with, like, I don't know why he went there, but it is a very weird thing. Like, completely think about it. Like, you are feeling ill, you are not going to the doctor, you're just running about the entire city just spreading the thing. Now, we literally don't know how long he has been in contact with any other people because he came via flight. He's coming from England, so probably it was more than a 12-hour flight. So think about all those things. Now, like, we should be responsible and just completely disclose the things that has happened. We should not be waiting in line and seeing, like, let's see how it manifests. we will have fun in the meantime. Please don't do that. This virus is very risky for a country like India, at least, because the population density is the highest here. Like China is the most populated place, but still China has a lesser population density than the current state of India. So just have to be responsible. If you are feeling sick, if you are feeling that yeah, I might have that virus, just go and get checked. You won't be affected. No one is going to kill you. You will get cured if you are under the age of 60. It is highly likely that you will get cured unless and until you have some other complication and very severe complications. So people, please do not run away from hospitals. Do not like avoid it. Just go get checked, get sure about it. If you are infected, just stay in quarantine for like 2 months. Nothing will happen. You will just save your own life and save the life of countless other peoples that like come in contact with you on a daily basis. Now let's talk about another important thing that I think people are currently not thinking about. That is that how long that the virus can actually linger around in the air or in some places where the infected person touches and all. Now there are certain very informative videos right now about on YouTube. Like there's a guy called Mark Robo. He is a retired NASA astronaut. He's not an astronaut, sorry. He's a retired NASA engineer. So he made a quite a good video right recently, like about 12 hours ago, which depicts how the germs spread, and I think everybody should actually see that. And the next thing that I want to talk about is how long does the coronavirus actually linger around in the air or in the materials. So I read a few studies, and I can just say safely, like they have found up that in some cases it can stay up to 3 hours in the air and up to 3 days on metallic surfaces, which is very deadly. You literally just get so much variables when you take all those things into account. Like you don't know who was there 3 hours before you or even 3 days before you in some such scenarios. Like think about all those public handrests as well as the public chairs and tables. So it's a very complicated thing. You just have to understand that this virus can spread like a wildfire if it just kicks out. You have to be responsible. You just cannot go about merrily if you are feeling sick. Studies are still continuing on this because people are not yet confirmed. Like the doctors have not yet concluded that this is the thing that is happening. The virus is this much deadly. So yeah, until and unless everything is concluded and we know A to Z about the virus, please just do not think that yeah, nothing will happen and just go about it. Now, like yeah, if you're ill, just get checked, isolate yourself. Don't be the cause of the infection increasing in your country, because you might be in a place where it is completely safe one day and the next day somebody just goes like running around in a manner which he does not care about others and just completely ruins the entire neighborhood because 10 or 15 people get sick. Infectious diseases spread in a very exponential manner. Just see the infectious people, like how many people have gotten infected in coronavirus in the recent like 6 months, and you will understand how the thing actually grows. So it is a very complicated scenario. Italy has currently just probably reached the amount of the deaths with China, which is very scary. You just cannot let it happen to your country as well. Like it's a very serious situation. People should understand. Let's not talk about all the things that I'm currently missing, but it is a scary scenario. I told you not to panic. Yes, obviously we should not panic, but we should actually understand how serious the scenario is. Panicking does not mean that you will be afraid, and not panicking does not mean that you can get the pass to go away anywhere and do anything when you are sick. So just be responsible. Responsibility is what we have. We just don't have anything to fight against corona other than that. Everybody has to be responsible. It is just urge, please share this. I never ask for anything. I don't try to plug anything. I don't like that idea. But I would recommend every one of you to please share this podcast with at least anybody you know who you care about. They should know, they should understand, they should follow it as well. At least for the next 3 weeks, I would recommend. Please let the people know. At least don't let any misinformation be out there. Yeah, I have to control myself anyway. So please share this information with all the people around there. Don't let anybody be like selfish as well as carefree to the point that they are spreading the disease by themselves. So yeah, I just end it here. This has been a follow-up episode. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.